Hey everybody, this is Casual Free-to-Play Gamer. In today's video, I'm going to go over how to download BlueStacks, the different functions of BlueStacks, how to set up a multi-instance, and how to link your Rise of Kingdoms account to BlueStacks. The first thing we want to do is search for bluestacks.com, and that'll bring you to BlueStacks. Once your page opens up, you're going to have two downloadables. One is for BlueStacks 10, and the other is for BlueStacks 5. BlueStacks 5 is the one you want to download to physically put it on your computer. BlueStacks 10 is more for the cloud, and we don't want to worry about the cloud right now. So go ahead and click on BlueStacks 5, and depend on your browser. I'm using Chrome, so it's going to pop down here. Open up your installer. Once your installer opens up, press yes, and then I just click Install Now. Once it is done downloading, you're going to have the BlueStacks app player. You're going to have your icons over here. I'm going to press the X up here and close this window out. And I'm going to be left with BlueStacks 5 Multi-Instancing Manager. Okay, I'm going to double left click on this. And this is going to open up the manager. Right now, there's already an instance ready for you to go. But if you look, this is 32-bit. I do not want 32-bit. I want 64-bit. So I'm going to ignore this one. And I'm going to go down to Instance. Press Instance. Fresh Instance. I'm going to switch this to 64-bit. I'm going to click Next. And this will bring me up to the parameters for my instance. If you have a strong computer and you can handle multiple instances, then you can do high 4-core. I'm going to put it on medium 2 to save memory. Memory allocations, I'm going to put it on 2. And then I'm going to leave everything else alone, except for down here, performance mode, I'm going to put on balanced. If you have an older computer, you might want to do low memory. If you have a very strong computer and you're going to run one instance, then you can put on high performance. So I'm just going to stick it on balance. And then I'm going to put download. What this is going to do is going to download the instance for me. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this tab over here, the rearrange tab. I'm going to left click on the mouse and hold and drag up. That's going to put that instance number 1. Then I'm going to come down here with a 32-bit one and I'm going to hit the trash can and delete it. So now I have BlueStacks app 1. I'm going to click the rename button. I'm going to rename this. What you want is a Gmail account. You can name this whatever you want. I'm going to put ABCD1234 at gmail.com. And I'm going to hit enter. That's a fake Gmail, of course, but I just want to reiterate, you need a fresh Gmail account. All right, so how do we create a fresh Gmail account? I just opened up a fresh Google page. I'm going to put in gmail.com, and that's going to open up the Gmail account. I want to create an account for myself. And here you're going to put your first name, last name, the username you want, and then the passwords, then hit next. I'm going to do this off screen. Once you follow the instructions on your Gmail account, it will set up your Gmail. Now that we have an active Gmail, we can continue. Before we continue, I'm going to talk about this screen a little bit. So here's the name you want to put in here. There is the bits that you're using. Right here is your instance setting for this account only. You click on this, we have our 2-core. I can do 60 frames. I'm going to drop it down to 30. I'm going to hit Save Changes. The display and the graphics, I don't mess with. I just leave them alone. Here you have create a shortcut to desktop. So if you want to click on this, it'll create a shortcut, which is right here, which I don't want. So I'm just going to delete that. Next one is clone instance. Do not mess with this one. Delete. You don't want to delete. And then rearrange, which you can go up and down. Down below is your instance. Your folder. So if I click on folder, it's going to create a new folder. I don't want a new folder, so I'm going to delete that. We got arrange, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. We have disk cleanup. This will clean up your disk. Do not click this unless you want your disk cleaned and you're about ready to go to bed, and it can do it overnight. It's going to take a long time. And the last one here is settings for your manager. This one's settings for your account. This one is settings for your manager. So if you click on this, I'm going to drop this back down to 30 FPS. You can disable audio for all instances. That's up to you. We have grid layout, diagonal layout. Grid layout will put it in boxes to left and right of each other. Diagonal will go across this way. I keep it on grid. Instances per row is 2, so it's going to have 1 here, and you're going to have 1 here. And then if you're going to have 4, you're going to have another one down here and another one down here. And it starts within 2 seconds. So we're going to click Save. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to click Start. What this is doing is creating a fresh instance for you to play for the next steps that we need to create an account. Now that BlueStacks is done installing, this will bring you to the home page of BlueStacks. Before we add your account, I'm going to go over a couple things. Here's your back button. So if I click on Game Center, this will open up the different games. I can hit the back button. It will bring me back to where I was at. Or you can hit the home button, which will bring you to this screen. And then you have recent apps. If you click on this, it'll bring you back to the Game Center if I have multiple apps running. Clear all, we'll just get rid of it. Here's your help and support. Here is your settings. You can pin to the top. You can fix window size. So for instance, I go like this. I can go on here and I can fix it. Now I can't move it again. Or I can unclick it and then I can move it. Here's your minimize. And then if you hit Alt-Tab, you can cycle through your stuff. And here's if you want to close it out. We're not going to close it out now. This is your slide bar, which is this here. You can either open and close your slide bar. You can toggle full screen, or you can hit escape and get out of full screen. You can adjust your volume. You can lock your mouse cursor. So if you lock it, you can't get back into this screen here. You can't go off the screen. So this is great for games where you don't want to go off your screen. Just hit escape and it'll take it off that. Here is Open Macro Manager. For Rise of Kingdoms, do not use macros. Here is Sync Operations, where if you're running more than one instance, you can sync your instances. Do not do this for Rise of Kingdoms. It's a cheat. Here is Trim Memory. So if you click this, down in this area down here, you're going to see the memory that it's going to free up. So I just freed up 415 memory. Install APX. Don't worry about this with Bluestacks. You can take a screenshot and add it to your folders. This is your folder. This will open up your media folder. And you can put pictures and stuff in here to put on Rise of Kingdoms and stuff. And I'll show you that later. Here is your rotate screen. This is good if you like to chat. So you can click on this. And this will open up to this screen here. Or you can click on rotate and it'll bring you back. You can shake your screen like you do your phone. Here's set location. I don't worry about set location. Multi-instance manager. You click on that. That brings up your multi-instance box. Next is eco mode, which brings it down to the lowest memory use possible. You have your settings. That's the same as up here with these settings. You have your back, which is the same as this back. Home, which is the same as this home. And recent apps, which is the same as recent apps. So if we go to settings, we have our 2 core, we have our 2 gig, we have balance, we have 30 frames per second. I don't mess with this stuff down here. So besides performance, I don't mess with any of this. And the last one is about. This one is very important because you need to check this regularly because they may have updates. So just click on check for updates. And we are in the latest version. But sometimes you're not. And this will mess with your Rise of Kingdoms game. So make sure that you go down to about and check for updates once in a while. All right, that covers this screen. So next thing we're going to do is hit Play Store. I'm going to open this up to full screen. Okay, we're going to sign in. And what this is going to ask for is your email and then your password. So I'm going to take this off screen and put this information in. After you put your email in and your password, it's going to ask you several questions. Just answer yes to those. And it's going to bring you to the Play Store. Once you're at the Play Store, search for Rise of Kingdoms. And this will bring you to the Rise of Kingdoms game. Next, click Install. And this will start installing Rise of Kingdoms for you. Once Rise of Kingdoms is done installing, then you can press play. So once I get to the point where I have that account up and running, I'm going to close it out and go back to Multi-Instant Manager. Now you don't have to do that. You can create all your accounts without opening up any account first. But since I had to create another video of a tutorial on how to show people how to play the game, I went ahead and only did one account. So to create a second, third, up to 10, 20 accounts, whatever you want, just click on Instance, click on Fresh Instance, go back down to 64-bit, hit Next. I'm going to keep it on 2 core, keep it on 2 core. I'm going to go to Balanced. If you have a slower computer with a bad video card, go down to Low Performance. If you have a supercomputer, you can do High Performance. I just stick with Balanced. And then I create. This will create your second account. Now remember, second individual account with a different Gmail. So I'm going to put on my fake second Gmail account. I'm going to go over to Settings. Make sure this is 2 core, and 30 FPS. All right, it is. So I'm going to hit the X, and then I'm going to hit Start. This is going to open up a fresh instance for you. So the instance you just got done playing, this is going to be completely different, and it's not going to have anything tied to that instant. So basically, this is like getting a new phone or an iPad and freshly creating a new account on that new phone or iPad. Unless the phone and iPad are connected, of course. Okay, once that's installed, it's going to bring us back to the home screen. And then we need to create a second Gmail account. Now to speed this along, you can create your Gmail accounts ahead of time, but I'm just doing it to show you how to do it. So I'm going to go back to Google. I'm going to create a new account for myself. And here's where I'm going to put the information in. I'm going to put my username that I want and the passwords I want. And then it's going to ask me for other information after that. And I'll be back after I create another account. Once you create your second account, we're going to go back to Play Store. We're going to sign in. We're going to put our email and our password in. And I'm going to go off screen for this. All right, once you're done putting your information in, I'm going to click Not Now. I'm going to go back to the home screen. Now that we have our new account information in here, I'm going back to Play Store. I'm going to type in Rise of Kingdoms, and I'm going to click Install. Once it's done installing, you can press play. Since this is a different account, all your settings are going to be completely different. So we still have our shortcut buttons. So remember, Control, Shift, F10, or come up to the keyboard and you can turn them off and on. Now on this account, I'm going to go with Britain. Like I said before, go to my starter guide to understand why I'm picking Britain as one of my civilizations. I'm going to hit confirm.
From a barren
I'm going to skip this. I just finished the tutorial, so now we're going to go to the next step of BlueStacks. So let's close out of this. So let's hit the X and close. Now this is what makes BlueStacks Multi-Instant Manager great. You can run different accounts that you want. So say I want to run these two accounts. I just select all, and then I hit start. And this is going to run two accounts for me. So let's just wait for these both to load up, and then we'll get started on the next part. Now that these two are loaded up, let's go back to the Instant Manager, and we're going to click this button here called Arranged. What Arrange does is it arranges how you like your setup. If you don't like it to be in a grid, you can go back to Collect Settings. You can switch it over to Diagonal, Save, Arranged, which I don't like personally. So I'll go back to Grid. And what this does is it sets them up next to each other. Now that we have BlueStacks up on both, we can play both accounts. Now just to reiterate, do not play macros in Rise of Kingdoms and do not do sync. What sync does is if you click on this, you can sync to the other account and start. So if I hit Play Store, it's going to open up Play Store on both accounts. Rise of Kingdoms considers this cheating and you can get banned. So do not do sync. So to turn off sync, you can either just pause and turn it off. So do not use these two in Rise of Kingdoms, which means you have to play both accounts manually. So we'll double click that and we'll double click that, and we're going to wait for it to load up. Now that they're all loaded up and I've already gone through the tutorials, let's click on the one you want to play, hit Control Shift F10, get rid of that, or go up to the keyboard and click on that. We're playing sound, and like I said, I don't like my sound playing, so we're going to click on the profile, settings. What I just turned off was the graphics because I'm playing two accounts and I want a lower graphic. All right, so that turns off my sound. Now let's talk about how to link your account. So I'm going to come over to the profile on both. We're going to go to settings, and you're going to recognize this from your phone. So if you go to Character Manager, this is where your governors are going to be. Governors are individual games within your account. So these are individual games within your account. So if you wanted to create a second governor on Kingdom 2894, you can have two governors running at once. Later on, I'll show you how to create more governors on the same kingdom. With different Gmail accounts, you could run unlimited amount of accounts on one kingdom, each with two governors, or if you use a special trick. So let's go back out here. Let's go to account, and you're going to recognize this on your phone. Now, since I have not linked these to any other device, this is going to act like a device. So you only want to hit link once to link it to a device. You do not want to hit link ever again unless you have a new device. So let's click link. Let's click link. And then this might show my Google account, which I'm going to have to blur out. Once this box comes up, click on the account that is shown. Right now, we have linked these two accounts to a Google Gmail address. This one's linked to a Gmail. This one's linked to a different Gmail. And since you linked it, we get 200 gems. Now, the cool thing about linking your accounts is now you can go to your phone. So now let's pretend that you're on your phone or your iPad. You can go to account, and here you can switch accounts. Do not hit link again. You can switch accounts. You can sign in with Google, and you can add another account. So every account that you have, you can add. So I'll have my main account on my phone. Since I just created 2 Gmail accounts on BlueStacks, I can add both of those down here. I will hit add account. I will go through the email and the password again. And what that does is that will add it to my roster. And then all the other accounts I want to add, I just keep adding accounts. And if you're on an iPhone or an iPad, you can have 10 accounts linked to your Rise of Kingdoms. In each one of those accounts, you can have 2 governors. So right now you can have 10 accounts, 2 governors each, which gives you 20 accounts. Depending on how much time you play, do not create 10 accounts with 20 farms. You will not have enough time to play. So let's get out of here. So I hope that helps you with BlueStacks, downloading BlueStacks, getting different Gmail accounts, understanding the windows in BlueStacks, how to do fresh instances, and how to link your accounts. My next video is going to be a tutorial on how to play, and then I'm going to do several videos after that explaining the different screens and what all this stuff means. Since I'm starting out, I have to say this. Please subscribe, please hit like, and I'll see you on the next video. Casual, free-to-play gamer, out.